today we're going to be talking about poison ivy. Chances are if you live in Iowa or if you live anywhere in America, you've heard of poison ivy and how dangerous it can be. So in this video, we're going to teach you guys how to identify it and where you can find it out.
As you can see here, there is poison ivy, and this plant has 3 leaves, very light colored, and there's also a red stem in the center, and that's how you can identify poison ivy in the wild. When you are trying to identify poison ivy, you might find other 3-leaf plants, although those may not be poison ivy. For example, this is a raspberry plant, and it has 3 leaves that look very similar to poison ivy, but it is not, so it's important to be able to distinguish between the 2 of them. These 2 pictures are examples of an allergic reaction to poison ivy. So if you've noticed that a rash is forming on your skin, be able to identify if that is poison ivy or not. In about 1 hour after exposure, the urushiol, which is the chemical compound in poison ivy, will begin to absorb into your skin. In about 24 to 48 hours after that, you will start to see the rash form on your skin as well.
If you are exposed to poison ivy, a great over-the-counter option is called Xanfil. What you do is once you realize, whenever that is, that you have poison ivy, whether it's an hour after you come in contact with it or when you see the rash, you should use Xanfil to relieve some of the itching and any of the other symptoms that occur when you have poison ivy. So now we're going to go through some myths and facts about poison ivy. So a big myth about poison ivy is that the poison ivy rash is contagious. This is a myth because since the poison ivy rash is an allergic reaction to the urushiol in poison ivy, you can only get the rash if you're in direct contact with the plant. Another myth is that scratching poison ivy, like the blisters that form on your skin from the rash, will spread the rash, and that's also not true. But it is important to note that scratching the blisters that form when you have a poison ivy rash can actually produce other problems and make the rash worse. For example, if you have bacteria on your fingers, scratching that rash could make that worse than the initial rash that you had. Another myth is that poison ivy plants are no longer toxic once they are dead. So the urushiol or the oil that is on the poison ivy plant can actually stay on there for up to 5 years. So it's important to get rid of your poison ivy plants in a safe manner and really note that they can still be toxic even after they're dead. And those are some myths and facts about poison ivy that you should know about, especially if you live in a place like Iowa that has it a lot in nature.
So since we are in Iowa, we only have poison ivy plants, but if you were in other parts of the world, you might see that there are poison oak and poison sumac plants, along with others, but these also have the rash effect. So it's important to be able to identify these as well if you're traveling to any other state.
Alright, now that we've told you a little bit more about poison ivy, go ahead and pause the video and see if you can identify which of these plants are poison ivy. Alright, so this is the one that is poison ivy. We see the 3 leaves and the kind of reddish stem right there.
Thank you!